Hi guys, welcome back. This workout is going to be a gentle workout on the chest, so for people that are not very mobile, or for people where the balance is not great, or they can't get to the mat very easily. It's something that I can do here to just work out through the back. Of all of you that sit in the desk at the office or at home, working from home too long, so feeling quite stiff or quite tight, quite close, always hunching forward in that position. So starting off, sitting on the chair, finding the seat bones, see if you can try and plant the seat bones right onto the bottom of the chair, and then sitting up the best way I can. So I'm going to try and pull up from the middle. I'm going to try and lift myself up, dropping the shoulders down, the head is lifted, the chin is parallel to the ground. Now this might not be a position that I can hold for very long, as I will fatigue very quickly. As I realize that I'm fatiguing, so I'm squashing myself back down. See if you can try and remind yourself, can I try and sit up a little bit taller again, and then I might slump again, and then I'm going to sit up a little bit taller again. So just finding a comfortable position, reasonably upright. And then what I want to focus on more than anything is to focus on the breath. I want a nice, relaxed, diaphragmatic breathing. So I don't want the breath to come from the top of the chest. I don't want to feel my chest raising when I breathe. I want to feel my belly expanding when I breathe. Just a nice, relaxed breath, dropping me into that calm, relaxed state. So think of your position. The more I sit in that position, the more I'm hunched and squashed at the front, the less I can actually breathe diaphragmatically. So my only option is to breathe up here if I want to survive. But that's a fight and flight type of breath. So it's that exciting breath, which is not necessarily a good thing for me, especially if I'm trying to relax. So see if I can try and give myself a little bit more space, and then encouraging that nice calming belly breath. Once you're happy that you've got that breath, so I'm sitting the best way I can feel that the breath is coming from down here. It's not up into the chest, it's not into my throat, into my neck. Then I'm going to start mobilizing through the neck. I'm going to start turning the head gently from one side to the other, noticing any difference between the right and the left side. As you get the rotation going, see if you can, with the corner of your eye, watch the shoulder. As sometimes, because the neck is so stiff, as I turn, I'm not actually turning my neck, I'm turning the all of my body as the shoulder is going back too. So see if I can be aware of the shoulder staying still, and then just the head turning, almost as if I was trying to bring my chin lined up to the middle of the shoulder, then coming back, and then I'm going to try the same thing to the other side. I'm not forcing anything, so I don't want to create any pinching at the back, or I don't want any pins and needles going down into the arms, but just to see if I can try and find a nice smooth movement from side to side. And then I might find that the more I do it, the easier it gets. I feel it's a little bit looser. I might find that there's no difference whatsoever. It's whatever it is, just noticing if there is any change. On the next one, I'm going to turn to look over the right shoulder, and then I'm going to tuck the chin in. Imagine to be dropping your nose to the shoulder. So see if I can create a gentle tension, a gentle traction that from the back of the skull comes down the back of the neck and towards the top of the shoulder. Just a little stretch. If I want to make it stronger with my left arm, I'm just going to reach down, I'm drawing the shoulder down and away from the head. See if I can create a little bit more traction there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to ease back, returning the head back to the middle. I'm going to turn to look over the left shoulder, tucking the chin down towards the chest, the nose dropping down to the shoulder. See if I can notice that traction coming down the other side. And then again, if I feel that I can make it a little bit stronger, I'm just going to reach down with the arm, holding it steady. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back. turning the head back to the middle, and then changing the direction of the movement, going for a little flexion extension. I'm going to tuck the chin in. Imagine it possible to be curling your head into your chest. So I'm going to tuck the chin in. I'm going to drop the chin down towards the chest to see if I can create a nice gentle stretch down the back of the neck. Then I'm going to lift it up, and then I'm going to try and open up the front of the throat, sending the chin up and towards the ceiling. See if I can create a little traction there at the front, so from the chin all the way down the throat. Then I'm going to come in, I'm going to tuck it in, and then I'm going to lift up and then look up. Maintaining that little movement going, making sure that especially when you go into extension, so when I look up, there is no pinching at the back of the neck or any referred pain or tingling down the arms or into the fingers. As I feel this down, that the movement feels a little bit easier, a little bit looser, I'm going to add a little bit more traction. So as the chin drops down to the chest, with the hands I'm going to hook onto the back of the head, and then I'm just going to encourage a gentle pull down. See if I can feel the stretch going down the neck, almost like down the middle of the back. Not heavy, just a gentle stretch. Then I'm going to ease back. And then as the chin starts going up, I'm going to hook the hand to just below the collarbones, and then creating a little traction down. So I'm going to hold my skin, I'm going to hold the muscle, the fascia down. I'm going to lift the head up and see if I can encourage a little bit more stretch down the front of the throat. Then I'm going to ease it forward, hooking the hands behind the head. I'm going to stretch into the back of the neck. And then hooking the fingers at the front, I'm going to stretch the front of the throat. 2 more times. Tucking the chin, hooking the hands behind the head, stretching the back of the neck. And then looking up, pulling down with the hand, stretching the front of the throat. Last one. Tucking the chin, little pressure with the hands. And then lifting up, hooking the hands down onto the skin, lifting away. And releasing back. Releasing the neck, releasing the shoulders. There's a little bit more movement through the neck. Testing again, maybe with a little bit of a side to side, noticing if the rotation feels easier, if I can turn a little bit further. And then from the neck, I'm going to move into the upper back, working through the thoracic spine. So same as I did for the neck, I'm going to start with a little rotation first. So holding on to the side of the chair if I feel that I need a little support, keeping the arms down the front, or crossing them onto the chest, or whatever you want to do with them. I'm going to lift myself up, so I want to try and sit again as tall, as open as possible. Once that I've got that lift, I'm going to turn the all of the body this time to the side. So I'm going to turn the head, but following through with the shoulder. Then coming back, I might slump slightly. I'm going to pick myself back up, and then I'm going to rotate to the other side. Coming back, and then I'm going to release, and then try that again. So imagine to be turning to reach for your seatbelt and put the seatbelt on. You can reach with the arm as well. That's going to create a little stretch into the back of the shoulder too. So I'm going to lift and rotate one way, and then I'm going to lift and rotate it to the other side. And then just noticing the movement as I turn to the left, I feel that that's easier. As I go to the right, it feels a little bit more restricted. Notice the position of the back. If I'm down here, and then it will feel very restricted both ways. If I can lift myself up a little bit more, using the hand to help me push myself up into that lift, something to help me prop myself up, that suddenly I've got a lot more space. It feels a little bit easier. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the upper back. It's a little bit looser at the top. I'm going to change the direction of the movement. This time from rotation, I'm going to go into little lateral flexion. So making sure that your hips are secured on the chair. I'm going to let the arms come down the side, and then this time I'm going to reach down the side. So I'm going to flex it down one side as if I was trying to pick up something from the side, from the floor, coming back, and then I'm going to flex the other way. Exactly the same as you did for the rotation. If I'm crushing myself down at the front, then the tendency will be to go forward. See if you can again try to remind yourself, can I try and maintain that lift? How far can I go to the side? It doesn't matter if the movement feels small, but see if I can make sure that it's coming from the back and moving sideways and not loading forward. So there is no pull into my lower back, it's just a little pull coming up the side of the waist, maybe into the side of the rib cage. If I feel that the movement feels a little bit easier, feels a little bit looser, then I'm going to take the arm with me. I'm going to bring the arm up and over. I'm trying to create a nice long stretch down the side, coming back, and then I'm going to pull with the other arm. For the arm, it doesn't matter. So as far as my back is straight and I'm reaching with the arm, it doesn't matter if my arm is slightly forward or is all the way up, but just making sure that the arm is not pulling me forward into that flexed position again. So see if I can picture my shoulders being against the wall or against the back of the chest, if I can maintain them there as I'm moving from one side to the other. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, raising the shoulders, releasing the upper back. It's just a little bit more movement at the top. I'm going to change the direction one more time. From lateral flexion, I'm going to go into extension, so popping the hands at the front of the legs, so using the hands to help me push myself up into a lift. I'm going to take a deep breath in. As I breathe out, I'm going to extend my way up and towards the ceiling. So imagine to be pushing your chest forward, and then at the same time a little hook at the front of the chest that is lifting you up, extending you through. And then I'm just going to let myself drop, and then again I'm going to pick myself up, extending through. So think of stretching the front of the belly, think of lifting and lengthening across the breastbone and the front of the chest. And then same as I did for the rotation, same as I did for the lateral flexion, if I feel that I can progress, then I'm going to add the arms. So I'm going to use the arms to help me lift and open up further. Don't add the arm if you feel that the arm are actually creating the opposite. So my shoulders are so stiff, my chest feels so stiff that the arms are actually weighing me down and pushing me down. So if that's happening, I'd rather keep my hands here to help me lift and extend as much as I can, and then dropping back. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the back. It's just a little bit more movement. We're going to start traveling down a little bit more into the hips and into the lower back. So similar movement to the flexion extension through the thoracic, the lumbar is moving as well, but this time I'm going to focus just a little bit more on a pelvic tilt. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis backwards, so I'm going to encourage the lower back to round, and then I'm going to tilt it forward to see if I can rock back onto my seat bones. So I'm going to tilt it back and then coming forward. So I'm going to roll on my tailbone and then lift up onto the seat bones. Roll on my tailbone and then lift up onto the seat bones. Using the hands at the back of the legs if I feel that I need a little help to pick myself up, to create that lift at the back. So it's a nice relaxed movement. I think of minimum effort. So I'm just trying to massage through the lower back and the back of the hips. I'm happy with the movement. I feel that the lower back feels a little bit looser. I'm going to change the direction of the movement slightly. So on the next one, I'm going to pick myself back up, holding it there, and then I'm going to go for a little hip hitch. So think of your right hip hitching up towards the ribcage. So I want my right bum cheek to lift off the chair. Then come back. I want my left bum cheek to lift off the chair. So I'm going to go a little hitch to the right, a little hitch to the left, a little hitch to the right, a little hitch to the left. a little hitch to the right, a little hitch to the left. So see if I can be aware of the hips are moving that way this time. So just a little side to side movement. And then again, noticing restriction. I might find that on one side I can lift easy, on the other side it feels a bit pinchy. On one side I can definitely feel the side of the belly, on the other side it feels different, it doesn't feel the same. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, resetting the hips back in the middle. And then from hip hitch, I'm going to work into the hip joint. So what I want this time is for the back to stay still, but my hip joint to move. So I'm going to keep the back nice and straight. I'm going to again keep myself as upright, as tall, as lifted as possible. And then what I want is for my hip to close on one side. So I'm going to try and pull the foot up, then ease it back, pull the other, ease it back, pull the other, ease it back, pull the other. So imagine to be going for a little walk. If I find that my mobility is not that great, so I'm struggling to get the leg to lift, I might just use the hands or a little strap around the back of the leg to encourage the hip to flex. So see if I can try and think of a nice loose movement through the hip. So it's not my back that is rocking the leg up and down, it's just the hip joint flexing, coming back, flexing, coming back, alternating one side and the other, working deeper through the hip flexors. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, releasing the hips, releasing the legs, and then staying with the hip, but this time see if I can work into a little abduction, adduction. So I'm going to shuffle the legs nice and close together, and then keeping the feet reasonably close, I'm going to start opening the right leg out to the right, closing it back to center, and then open it to the right again. Maintaining that movement going. See if I can be aware of the tension through the inner thigh, pulling the leg back to the center, the side of the hip, pulling the leg off to the side. My other leg is staying nice and still. Same as I did for the lifting, for the hip flexion. As I abduct and adduct the leg, so as the leg starts to wave or keeps waving side to side, I might need my hands to help me guide that leg. So I'm going to use the hand on the inside to push it out, and then the hand on the inside to push it back in. So one on the outside to go out, one on the side to come back in. So a little help to move the leg. And then same as before, see if you can think of a nice loose movement through the hip. So I'm trying to mobilize through the hip joint. So I'm not trying too hard, I'm not pushing too heavy. It's just that nice easy massage into the hip. 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, holding that leg nice and still. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So opening the leg out, closing it back, open it out, closing it back, opening and closing. Same as on the other side, using the hand to push it out and push it back in. See if I can try and ease some of the stiffness, some of the tension of the hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back. Giving the legs a little walk, giving the legs a little shake, and then I'm just going to work a little bit on resisted. So I'm going to shuffle the knees nice and close together. I'm going to push the hand, place the hand onto the side of the legs. I'm going to push the legs together with my hands, and then with the legs I'm going to try and push out into the leg. So little resisted tension. I'm going to hold it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to relax, and then I'm going to change the effort. This time the hands go in, the hands will be pushing the legs apart, the legs will stay together. So I'm going to push out or pull out with the hands, squeeze in with the knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. One more time. Pushing in with the hands, out with the legs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing back, pulling out with the hands, pushing in with the legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, relaxing the legs, and then finishing off with a little bit of a tension into the back of the hips, into the back of the bum. So I'm going to start clenching my bum cheeks. So I'm going to squeeze them together, relax, squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax. So as I clench, the tension should be almost like push me off the chair. And then as I relax, I'm just going to drop back into the chair. Noticing if the tension is the same right and left side. I might find that one side really tenses, the other is a bit asleep. So if you can try and get them both to tense together, tense at the same time. And then once that you feel that you've got that tension, if you want to progress, then we're going to try and see if we can squeeze a little bit harder. So I'm going to squeeze my bum cheeks, and then I'm going to squeeze harder as if I was trying to stand off the chair. Then I'm going to ease back, and then I'm going to squeeze through the bum cheeks, and then squeeze harder as if I was trying to stand off the chair. And then again, 3, and back, 4, and back, 5, 6, 7, last one, 8, and releasing back. Relaxing the hips, releasing the legs. I'm going to extend one leg away along the floor, and then straightening up the leg, keeping the other knee bent. I'm going to ease my way forward slightly until I can feel a little tension coming down the back of the leg. So I'm keeping the foot down. I'm just going to ease my way forward to see if I can create a little stretch at the back of that leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing back. I'm going to bring the leg back, extending the other one away if I can, and then I'm going to ease my way forward, see if I can get a little stretch into the back of that leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Returning the leg back, picking up one leg, using the hands to lift it if I need to do so, and then I'm going to cross it over the other. With the opposite hand, I'm going to reach around the knee and then gently pulling the leg across to see if I can encourage a little stretch down the side of the hip. If I want to make the stretch stronger, I'm just going to turn into the leg, see if I can think of a nice stretch going from the hip across to the middle of the back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing back. I'm crossing the leg. See if I can cross the other way. And then opposite hand goes around that leg anywhere. And then pulling the leg across. I'm going to turn into the leg. See if I can create that nice stretch that wraps around the hip and into the back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back. Uncrossing the legs, releasing the feet. letting the chin drop down to the chest, letting the shoulders come forward. I'm going to roll my way down, so allowing myself to slump and come forward as far as I feel comfortable, all the way down if I can go that way, if I feel safe going that way. I'm going to uncurl my way all the way back up, raising the chest up and towards the ceiling, retracting the shoulders, squeezing the shoulder blades together, looking forward, looking up, looking back, extending through the back. Then I'm going to release, and then again, coming forward, letting the chin drop, the shoulders come forward, rolling down gradually, and then gradually coming back up. Looking forward, looking up, looking back, extending through the back. Last time, letting the chin drop, the shoulders come forward, rolling down gradually, and curling all the way back up. Lifting the chest, opening up as high as you can, sending the breastbone up and towards the ceiling. The shoulders are back, looking forward, looking up, looking behind, and then releasing forward. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a clap on that. Any question or anything, any comment, please pop it in the box underneath the video. Please spread the word. Do subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, and I hope we'll see you all soon. Bye for now.